for another to buy or not to buy. So we're going to be using Dieverune today. I already posted photos on Instagram, so if you're following me on there, you already saw that. Instead of coffee, although I do have my coffee here, but I also prepared some of my favorite drink of this time of the year, which is hot apple cider with cinnamon sticks in it. This is, I just realized apple cider could be alcoholic. This is non-alcoholic. I did my undergrad years in the New England area, and this is huge there, so I kind of got hooked on it. I love it when the weather starts getting cold. I also quickly want to mention that I have my custom-made palette. It's going to be a 12 pan for October. I'm so excited about that because I try to do something spooky but not something that you see very frequently. Also quickly mentioning that I am still doing the 31 days of fall makeup looks over there on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't followed me yet. I'm doing a different look every day in the month of October. I did get sick for a couple of days, so I'm a few days behind, but we are gonna see 31 eye looks. And quickly also showing you all my nails, which is totally nightmare before Christmas. Also beauties, today for candles, I wanted to talk about this. I have purchased this from Trader Joe's. I feel like everybody has a Trader Joe's. If you live in the US, you have a Trader Joe's somewhere nearby, and they're having these. I just want to quickly mention them because I really like Trader Joe's candles. So there's a spice chai, there is a maple sugar, and there is autumn leaves, and the sizes are kind of small. So this, I feel like, is ideal for, one season. Yeah, so quickly mentioning that, and I'm going to turn one of these on. Let's go with spice chai. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the first thing that's popping up on my Instagram when I'm going in. So Terra is launching these. I'm trying to figure out what the name of this collection is, and I can't find it, but they have some very, very cool shades in this collection. I've also seen some already swatched from some of the influencers and creators that I follow on Instagram. For example, this Alien Code looks so nice, and it definitely looks a little different. So beauties, if you haven't watched my channel, now that you're here, let me tell you all that I'm a fan of green shifts, particularly deep green shifts. So you all have been telling me green looks good on me, which is part of the reason for that. I can't deny that I'm very excited. The only thing is that I probably don't have the budget right now for picking up anything from Terra. I have picked up a few things this month, so I'm probably not going to pick anything else up for the rest of the month. If you follow me on Instagram, I post about the things that I receive on Instagram, so you have already seen some of my unboxings on Instagram. And so I'm not going to repeat everything. If you're wondering about those things, you can follow me on Instagram. But yeah, I don't right now have budget for picking these kinds of things up, but I'm making a short list of what I want. And those are all going to go into the Black Friday list. So we'll see what kind of deals Terra is going to have. Maybe I'll pick up a few things. Quickly mentioning this release, Siren Sunset for $55 from Lunar Beauty. Beautiful, deep toned mattes. The jewel tone mattes. I love those, but not in the market for them. I have plenty of those. This is coming with a lipstick trio. Ooh, I like the trio because the trio is super cool toned, and I'm here for this. Although I feel like I have these colors, but Lunar Beauty is a brand that I'm kind of eyeing from afar for something to pick up. It seems like the trio is $43, so that's kind of pricey, probably within their price range for many, but to me that's a little pricey. I'm not going to go spend $43 on 3 lipsticks. That's just not within my budget right now. Beauties, I want to quickly talk about this because I saw this on my Instagram this morning and I was like, more hollows, sign me up. And that is this, which looks like it's 6 shades from Bella Beauté Bar. 4 of these have hollow in the name, which makes me think they have to be holographic. And beauties, I'm eyeing the pumpkin hollow because That kind of orange to yellow shift with holographic effects is something I haven't seen frequently, and I don't think I own anything like that. So it is something that made me think, and we know Bella Beauty Bar is a brand that I wanted to try this year, and I still haven't gotten to try them. So yeah, definitely looking at this. The other hollow ones, other than the Digital Zombie Hollow, Digital Zombie, that's a bizarre name. Yeah, but the other colors, I have those kinds of holographic shades in other brands. So I don't know if I need to dupe myself or my own collection, but that pumpkin hollow definitely caught my attention. There was also a few other colors like Witch's Brew and then Resting Witch Face, which I also feel like look like brands or look like colors that I have in my collection already. This is going to be a limited edition. This whole collection is called Basic Witch Extension Hand Pressed Single Shadow Multi Hollow Collection. So 2 are multichromes, 4 are holochromes. It seems like you can buy this as a collection, but I'm also pretty sure this should be available as singles if you want to pick them up as singles. And I already mentioned, we'll see. There might be some possibilities here for picking something as a single. They also released a holochrome highlighter also in the Basic Witch collection for $25 for a 44 millimeter magnetic pan. Do I have a name? I don't have a name. It's just called a multichrome highlighter. And these are all available on their website. Beauties, a few things let me quickly mention. Luxie Beauty is having another sale, again, $2 for singles. I'm going to do a few looks, and I've already started by doing some looks using some of my nice and favorite Luxie Beauty singles on Instagram just to inspire you to use singles more often. And if you've been waiting on purchasing anything from Luxie Beauty, probably this is your chance because I don't think this prices are going to go lower than $2. And they've had some very interesting and high quality shimmers in the past year, so definitely check them out. I think $2 is a bargain for the quality that they're having nowadays. Another thing, beauties, that I'm so excited about is something a lot of you have been waiting for, so don't miss out on it, and that is that Adept has brought back the Inspired palette, which was in collaboration with the TV show Arrow. And it is available. I just checked on their website. Don't miss out on it. I'm also certain you can use someone's code and get some money off of that. I also know that if you are on their mailing list, some people receive like percentage off coupons and things like that. So if you want to get those kinds of coupons, get on their mailing list. I have done at least one eye look with that palette on my Instagram a few days ago just because I was so excited about the palette coming back. And if you're curious what kind of eye looks you can make with that, you can check my Instagram. I've also done eye looks with it in this channel. You can also search this channel for that. I saw this collab release from Laura Geller in collaboration with Wheel of Fortune. I have no idea what's going on, beauties. Can someone explain to me? Like, are we like now any brand is now collaborating with anything? Like, shouldn't there be some logic behind the collaborations? Anyway, don't want to spend too much time talking about it. Let's move on. I'm going to prime with Eye-Cing from GlamLite. And as I'm doing this, let me quickly mention this one, which was released from Pastel Roses UK. This released on October 12th. I just never got a chance to talk about it. Spells and Potions, and I find this a super beautiful palette. I can dupe this though, which is part of the reason why I kind of opted out on it. Even Alchemy, which I think is probably the most special shade in this palette that stands out to me when I look at it. I have a lot of shimmers like that, so when I look at a palette like this, the first thing that goes through my head is that I can easily dupe this, so I'm not going to pick this up. Pastel Roses UK is a brand that I have been sort of interested in picking up from. I'm more interested in their singles and their multichrome sparkly shimmery shifty singles than in picking up a palette, because I definitely feel like I'm moving more towards doing my own custom palettes, using my endless supply of single shadows than to confine myself to just using a single palette. I've put my refer brushes in a separate container and we're going to use these today. And as I mentioned, they're a little large, so if I felt like I need something smaller than these, I might tap into some other brushes. I was certain I talked about this in my last Where Not to Buy, but I couldn't find the footage, so I evidently did not. This is Electric Collection from Half Magic Beauty. The things that caught my attention are not the pressed shades, but the little tubes of eyeshadows, like glittery eyeshadows. They're called them the glitter pills. So that gold is supposed to be holographic, and they say it's a sister to our best-selling microcosm and mercoise, like turquoise and mermaid mixed. Yeah, so I did not know that they have these like glitter pill thingies. From the looks of it, I'm assuming these are not just glitters, but they're, yeah, it looks based on some of the swatches and so on that these are glittery eyeshadows or liquid shadows. I'm not going to go out and buy any of these right now, but this is something I'm going to kind of eye from afar and maybe in the future. The whole collection, if you want the Electric collection, is $122, which is beauties. I don't know who comes up with these prices, but somebody out there is buying these. And now that we're talking about Halloween stuff, let's also mention this one from Mooncat, which is super, super cute. This is called 'Twas a Long Time Ago, The Nightmare Before Christmas Collector's Boxed Set, which is coming with 3 glow-in-the-dark shimmer, 3 ultra-fine hollow glitter flakies, and nail art stickers. Super, super cute, but you all know, beauties, I wear stick-ons or press-ons most of the time, and I also have a plenty of nail colors, nail lacquers, high-end nail lacquers from Cleona and other brands, so I'm not in the market for this right now. So frankly, I feel like right now Halloween is kind of over. Everybody's like beyond Halloween, so maybe not this minute. I also don't know how I ended up not talking about this one. Natasha Denona has a few releases. I thought I talked about this in my last video, but evidently I did not. So they're 5-pan mini of the Triochrome palette, which is $27. I know I can dupe this, and in fact I probably have better quality multichromes in my collection to use for that multichrome color than whatever is going to be in this palette. But realistically, if I were to buy something from Natasha Denona of everything they've launched to date, this palette would be it. This is way more up my alley than anything they have, particularly also the price. The price is definitely up my alley. Another thing that they have revealed is the Xenon palette, the 15-pan. I'm trying to find it. The 15-pan version. I'm here for this. You would not have guessed that, I know, but I'm so here for this because this is one of those things I would have never thought I would see from Natasha Denona. And I'm like, good for you, Natasha Denona. Releasing something that I don't think a lot of people would buy. I feel like Natasha, I don't know, tell me if you disagree, but I feel like they really appease to the masses, and I'm not here for that. But I mean, they're a brand. They of course have to appease to the masses. I think there were a lot of right things about this palette. The first thing is the time of launch, because right now is the best time to launch a palette like this. We're going into the holiday season. A lot of people are looking for these kinds of colors to do smoky eyes for holiday, to do holiday looking eyes, including these kinds of shimmers, of course. So this is great and totally makes sense. Quickly telling you all that this is, I don't have a price, but I'm guessing it's the $120 something, as it always is with these large palettes. I don't know if this is the midi version or the mini version or the maxi version, whatever the names are, I don't know, but, and I don't have a price, but it's going to be at least $60-$70, if not $120 something. So I'm happy the brands are now releasing some cool tone neutrals instead of just doing the regular warm tone neutrals all the time. But I'm not running to pick this up. However, if I see this at Sephora, which I'm pretty sure I will, or at Ulta, which I'm pretty sure I will at some point. I'm definitely going to swatch it. I'm liking the deep tone mattes that are not black, but are like very, 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 very close to black, but other colors. I love that. Okay, beauties, I feel like we talked about everything and I haven't even started my look, so let's do it. And this palette looks absolutely delicious looking. I'm loving it. The composition of this reminds me of Hypernova from Sugar Drizzle, but I wish Hypernova was like this because this looks so much more pretty and definitely more up my alley. But some of the colors, like these 4 colors up here, definitely remind me of Hypernova. I feel like Hypernova had these 4 colors. Because it's the fall season, we have to do a fall look, so I'm gonna go into the orange. There are no names. Okay, that is, I think, one issue I have with this palette. I can't really refer to the names because there are no names on here. Even on the back, there are no names. I'm going in my crease with this. Also, because I noticed that these pans are not magnetic, you can't get them out, which is another thing. Down the road, I'm really hoping brands like this that are sort of designed for more creative people who want shifty shades and so on, who are more likely to buy singles to match, would offer magnetic palettes with the shades popping out with a magnet so that you could pop them out and do your own things with them. So the first brush that I used was number 27, and now I'm going to use number 12 and go into this color. Another thing, beauties, I love this color, is that this palette's first ingredient is talc. I know a lot of people, including myself, might have become, I'm putting this color in my outer V, might have become a little bit more sensitive to brands that use talc because of medical concerns. I'm going to take this under my lower lash line. I'm saying this just to mention that if that is something you care about, keep that in mind. I'm going to pick back the orange and just brush this out. Also, I'm going to use it to blend this. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to quickly mention that e.l.f. has come out with duochrome liquid eyeshadows for $8. This should already be available on e.l.f.'s website. I'm not a big fan of liquid eyeshadows. I have a lot of them from Stila. You all remember they were so popular back in the day, and I just don't use them evidently on my eyes. I'm a much bigger fan of powder shadows, as you have seen on my channel. Maybe it's because I have hooded eyes and I've never really had a lot of luck with liquid shadows, so it might just be psychological, but I'm excited for whoever was waiting on this. Let's also mention this one, Hellbites Beauty. They have released Cottage Witch collection, which comes with the palette, lash book, and metallic lipsticks. The whole thing is $85. And I think that it's pretty cute. I mean, the palette is a rainbow palette. I'm not in the market for this kind of palette at the moment. As I mentioned, I'm looking for something different and unique. And, you know, this looks very generic and very rainbowy, which we have seen from pretty much a lot of brands. This actually, the whole composition of this reminds me of something that Urban Decay released in 2018, 2019. 2018, I think. If I find a photo of it, I'll put it on the screen. Let's also mention this House Labs by Lady Gaga releasing these. Again, the core of these is neutrals. Excited to see House Labs releasing different things. These are $49, $50 each at Sephora. They should already be available, but I have these colors. I'm not going to go pick these up. I can confess, though, that the top one is more exciting than the bottom one. Let's quickly mention this release from Nabla, the 9 pan. Okay, super neutralish, not up my alley, but I could see this be very appealing to a lot of people because these are common neutrals that most people need. I just don't really use neutrals a whole lot. Beauties, let me quickly mention this. It seems like Bratz is collabing with Walmart on a makeup collection that's gonna have a whole lot of lip glosses and 2 eye palettes for $8 each. Obviously very Walmart prices. I could see this. Again, obviously when I'm looking at this, it seems like it also has some brushes. So when I see something like this is for children. I mean, Bratz dolls are also for children, so I kind of understand where they're coming from, what's the logic behind this. And that makes sense. Obviously not something for me to run and pick up from Walmart. Interestingly, that we mentioned the Xenon palette is that Colourpop is releasing something very much up the same alley, which is their Cloud N palette. Again, seems like we're moving towards cold neutrals, and I'm here for that. And in general, it seems like we're moving towards cool tone colors, which also I'm totally fine with. But I'm not gonna go pick this up. Back in the day, I had Colourpop's Fortune palette, beauties. You all remember in 2018 or 2017, they released 16 pans. And I think it was their first 16 pan called Fame and Fortune. One of them was warm toned and one of them was cool toned. You all remember that? Some of you older fans of Colourpop probably remember this. I had the Fortune palette and I probably used it once, if I used it once. And I sold it off on Mercari because I was like, I have touched this just once and I had it for like 2 years and I'm like, I will never reach for this. And that palette was all cool neutrals. I feel like now I wouldn't mind combining cool neutrals with some very interesting, shifty, shiny, sparkly colors. That is probably what I'm gonna do. In fact, with that said, I'm probably gonna be in the market for cool neutral singles. I might have to look through my collection. I might even have some. Or maybe I'll explore the depotting of some of my already existing palettes. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let's continue with this. Beauties, with this palette, I purchased these 3, but I'm gonna forego on using these because I thought these came with a gel, but they look very much like just glitters or flakies. So I need to figure out how I'm gonna use them. Maybe there is a rule to this. I'm using Base Booster from BH. If there's a rule to this and there's some sort of a gel that you just purchase and use these with, please write to me in the comments below because I feel like such a newbie to these glittery, flaky world. I'm putting this over here across my lid. Okay, so this green color is extremely flaky and insanely flaky, and like when you press it, it could completely come out of the pan. So you have to be very, very careful with that. That's that. And then this one, I'm swatching the orange one for you all. I love this orange. This is one of those oranges that has a hue of coral. I want to put the orange at the center, and then I want to put this green, but I need to split the green between my 2 fingers because that's just too much of this green, just way too much of this color. And I'm gonna just put this green over here. Again, be super, super careful when using this green. It's super, super flaky, and if you aren't paying attention, you could literally bring out the whole color out of the pan with one finger, you know? Okay, beauties, the look is done. I put a little bit of this Ultra Matte Lip from Colourpop in the color Mama on my lips, and some Superhero mascara from It Cosmetics on my lashes. This green color, beauties, that I put over here, this one is just so legit. I only wish that the brand would have warned me that I shouldn't like just dig my finger into it. But other than that, I'm loving this look, and I'm gonna put a reel of it on Instagram. If you want to see more close-ups, check my Instagram. But let's continue with the last item I want to talk about. One of you has tagged me on this. This is a release from Touch of Glam that they have kind of sneak peeked. They haven't given a full announcement yet. They're calling this a hollow misunderstanding, or at least that's sort of the tagline they are using. And they have sort of sneak peeked a palette that's gonna have some holographic shades in it and some mattes, which is interesting because Touch of Glam, to my understanding, has never had mattes before. They only have had all kinds of shimmers. I was looking through the comments and a lot of people were like, oh my god, this is a palette. Let me remind you all, beauties, that they did have basic batch palette last year or maybe earlier this year also, which was a 9-pan. So Touch of Glam has done palettes before. I just don't remember them ever doing mattes before, and I'm very excited to see what they have coming up. I'm super, super excited. Am I gonna go pick this up? I have to see what it is first. A better photo, because there's not enough light in these photos. The design, however, looks gorgeous, particularly those roses. I'm so liking that. But I'm not going to go pick something up just for the packaging. So I have to really see what's in it. I have had, I don't want to call it issues, but certain opinions about Touch of Glam in the past. I feel like they have released things that were a little bit too close to each other. You know, I don't want to go spend money on a palette where, you know, 4 of the shades in the palette could have been just 1 shade. This palette, based on what they have revealed so far, doesn't look like it's going to have that issue, but I definitely need to see what it is and swatches. So that's my spiel for today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, write to me in the comments below what you're excited about that's releasing now. There is a whole lot of stuff coming out. Hide my wallet, please. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you're having an amazing weekend and week. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. If you watched this far, you should subscribe. I love you all, and until next time, bye.